September 7th, 2014. There is strange things about me, and talking to a camera is definitely one of them, but basically a diary. Easier when the gears are lubricated, mental gears. Just beer. I get pretty fucked up before I want to say anything, and then I'm like, what's the point? I'm going to go to bed. But I still like doing it, so eventually I would do it even without, Mother Nature, peace of mind, marijuana. I'm told that I can get it again next month. And I don't really need it during the day, and I don't like begging, checking around. I did a little bit of that. One of the sources, possible sources, quote, so the only time I'm really looking for it is when I've already had 3 beers. And I'm not going to go looking for it then. I wouldn't even talk about it typically at work to anybody that might, the young ones typically where the access is at. So no, I don't do that. But if I can get it next month, I'm getting an ounce for $450. That's a lot for an ounce. I used to get a quarter pound for that. That's 4 times as much. Actually, I used to get a quarter pound for $150. Smoke some res out some old bowls. Trying to get the beer in there. It's crazy stuff, but finally I'm able to do some crazy stuff. And Daddy has to allow it. Make it possible. Moving here only because the whole system crashed. They would never have sold it if it hadn't for the price we got it for. We got it for $40,000, and we had to pay her $6,000 plus debt that she couldn't do. And shortly after I got here, I still owed the credit cards that I couldn't pay. They got a lien on the house for more than that. And if we were trying to sell the house, somebody's got to pay $10,000, not $6,000 something, $10,000 before we can sell the house. So they pretty much, if you ever die or whatever, there's a lien on the house. Nobody gets the house if we don't get our $10,000. Okay, that's fine. We're not leaving. It just don't look that way. I'm sure the old lady didn't think she was going anyplace either. They would have foreclosed on the house nonetheless, but then they would have had to pay the $6,000. But now it's $10,000. didn't even know that until Diane was trying to borrow money on the house to get the car, which we really didn't need to do, but she didn't really want to take the hit, though we certainly could and did. And the bank comes back and says, you got a lien on the house for $10,000 and you want to borrow 7 more and your income is $1,200 a month. Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. We ain't doing it. Ain't no money for us. It's still our home. That's a big thing. Nobody's gonna take it from us. They can't. They can take me down. Depending on how long I live, with a highway 20 feet away, I might, if I ever get rich or able to, like to have a house that's at least a mile away from the highway. Not much more than that, but they're nice to have around. But at least a mile and more country. I mean, I don't mind having neighbors this close. This is okay. Whatever. At least 50 feet apart. That works for me. They don't even build 50 feet apart anymore. Not for humans. It's not our cars. Pretty sure, but not sure, last time I talked, there was a friend of a friend who has an RV, like in the 80s. Pace Arrow. It's not a big name. Holiday Rambler, not a big name either. I thought I was wanting a Holiday Rambler. But you call it whatever you want. It's a big ass, full size RV. 33-foot. Big gas engine, 4-barrel probably. Been sitting for 9 years. And 10 years ago, I showed up to visit her, really drunk. They didn't have the RV back then. We got it next year. Something like that. Whatever. I'm trying to figure things out, but I really don't know the numbers to tell you the truth. Well, I know last time I was there, they didn't have the RV. And Cindy was feeling not attractive, and I was really drunk, and in my head, just touch her breasts and say, yeah, you are. And, so she said, Jeff, I think you need to leave. And I said, yeah, I think I do too. And he, she's like, he wanted to beat you up. Don't think he could have done it, but nonetheless, one of our neighbors, the guy Johnny, on depending on which side of the house you're looking at, back side of the house, left side, touched Diane between the legs when he was drunk. He said, "I know what you want." And told her the same thing her friend told her was, if he ever does it again, we're going to have words. He never did it again, and I never did it again. I pretty much didn't talk to Cindy for about 10 years. She still liked me. I still dig her too, you know what I mean? I dig Sharon too. Sharon actually talked to me a little bit. She's like, "You blocked me." Yeah, well, you blocked me 20 years ago. I had to try and find you, so don't think I was the first one to do the blocking. You told me when we finally talked, my mom died, and I just couldn't deal with all the stuff, and you were expendable, which she didn't say it that way. I had a life I had to live. She didn't say that either, but nonetheless, it is. So, you know, she was pissed off because I blocked her when a firestorm happened. Okay, you blocked me because I was poor and wouldn't get nowhere anytime fast. You had life you had to live, you had kids. I never held that against you, but she was upset that I blocked her because the firestorm happened and I had to block everything that started it, including her. For over years. And then I was like, okay, the fire must have settled by now, and get my friends back, the ones that I really want. Yeah. I got Miss Deb Cross back, and she still plays in between the two of us, and she's like, "Don't kill the messenger." Okay, well, don't be a banshee, I won't. Whatever it is they thought I didn't do it on purpose or at all. It could have been manufactured by a teenager. Don't know, it was a long time ago. But I can say in my own diary that it was probably a lot easier for Sharon to divorce her husband and do all this stuff without me being in everybody's minds. That's why you're doing it. No, I blocked you, man. I ain't nowhere to be found. It wasn't me. She might understand that later if she's mad at me for doing it. Diane's like, lately, yeah, I know you still talk to her, you know, I can see everything you do, you know, I can make sure you didn't, but that's not worth doing. I have no reason to hide anything. I'm not going to leave her, I'm not going to leave Diane. I mean, Diane is my rock. I trust her totally. And the last message I sent to Sharon was, "I never really trusted you. Maybe I should have, but I didn't because you were never around." I still have a spiritual connection with her. Deb said that Sharon said she feared me. Yeah, I fear her too. Fear about somebody you care about having an issue with you is normal and should be. Back to the big RV. Tuesday, after Darren's going to be working on getting us putting, he's going to do it so solid that probably earthquake could happen and it wouldn't move. It doesn't need to be that way, but he's a perfectionist. He's not charging a lot, so do your best. If it still looks the way I wanted it to look, and he didn't charge more, if I would still charge less than anybody else, I'm okay with that. Planning on building a business with Darren. It's going to take a while, but nonetheless. But again, back to the RV. Next week, after this week's big adventure, assuming it all happen, got to get him up here and take him up there to check this thing out. What does it need? Is it just a fuel filter? It's got 4 back tires, one's flat. It's so fucking big that if you're not used to working on trucks, working on cars is a whole different story. It is many magnitudes larger than a car. And it sunk 6 inches into the ground from sitting for 9 years. So I'm kind of wondering whether or not it's even going to be able to move out of that rut without spinning the tires and having to dig it out. I don't know these things. I do know I'm definitely willing to spend $1,000 on it. I mean, more than 1,000. He gets 1,000. That's what he wants. Move on. And do a good deed. Nanny's going to be living there on and off, if not until she dies.